Hello, welcome to the Perfect Genetics Challenge, Generation 2, Episode 24. And the great excitement today is this is the first time I've used my new microphone. I hope the sound is better in this video than in previous ones. And Don has purchased a new lot and I've built a barn on it and added a couple of horses. We're going to try some horse riding around Appaloosa Plains. The focus on this video will be getting Denise and Daryl ready to age up to young adult, and the 4 children that have just aged up to teen are now learning their gardening skill, and they're going to be preparing for them to age up to young adult shortly. But Donna, who is Cindy's heir and will be heading up Generation 3, and that's the youngest sister of the 4 children in Cindy's family. That's Debbie. They aged up in a recent episode. They're now teens. And so are their 2 imaginary friends made real, Lola and Lana. I discovered that Daryl is almost level 10 in gardening, and I decided to make him go and do some gardening so he can get to level 10 before he ages up to young adult. And he is Denise's twin brother, and they will be aging up to young adult together. But not in this episode, and their 2 imaginary friends made real will be aging up with them because they've also got the skills they need already. They don't need to learn much more. Just got to make sure all 4 of them are A grade at school. The main reason that I'm continuing to play Denise and Daryl and their imaginary friends made real is because of the horses. Denise has gained quite a lot of riding skill by reading riding skill books, and so has Daryl. He's not got a skill as Denise, but he has some riding skill, and I'd like to get them to ride around Appaloosa Plains before they age up and move to Vice City. And that's Lola on the left, and Denise has just sat down. She's playing a game, and on the right is Lana. And Lola and Lana are both reading gardening books to get their gardening skill up to level 1 before they go into the garden, because I find they tend to take forever to start getting to level 1 in gardening if they haven't read the book first. Little Oliver is too young to do gardening at the moment, but he's working on his fishing skill by fishing in the swimming pool. And that's Bindi, their dog, playing with a toy. Everybody's still in their sleepwear, but I'll get them into some other clothes shortly. That sim you can see through the window on the computer is Daryl's imaginary friend made real. He's Byron. And of course little Oliver caught a big black goldfish as soon as I stopped recording, so we didn't get that on video. The sim in the checked pyjamas there is Riley. He's Denise's imaginary friend made real. The building you can see on the other side of the fence is the base camp, and that's Byron with the blonde hair at the computer. He's in his pyjamas as well. Let's go and have a look at the horses. That's Patch Pony. And the other one is still in the barn. That's Rocket Pony. They're 2 horses I made years ago. They're the only horses I have in my games. Patch is a female and Rocket is a male. I've tried to give them a few interesting things on their lot, and the barn has got an upper level where the family members can relax or have something to eat if they want. It's all fairly basic at the moment because I haven't really worked out what I want to do with them, but we will see more of the horses later in this episode. Back on the home lot, Coco Cat is stalking something. Looks like she's gonna get it. Probably a beetle. Well, assuming she caught something, I had a look at her inventory and there was a stag beetle in there, but it was the first thing in the inventory, not the last, so I don't think it was a recent catch, so maybe she failed in that little attempt. She's gone off wandering in the nearby countryside. We can see there's the house there that on the right. That white fence is their home lot. She's not on the home lot at the moment. Back at home, it's time for Don and Bill to head off to work. They're both in the culinary career. Don's at level 10. He's a celebrated 5-star chef and has achieved his lifetime wish. And Bill is at level 6. He's a pastry chef. He's still got a way to go to get to his lifetime wish of celebrated 5-star chef. Now there's Cindy. Little Oliver is hoping his big sister will read him a bedtime story, but she doesn't like children because she was her mother's heir and she's the head of Generation 2. And her heir is little Donna that we've met earlier. Cindy's husband is Bill. So she's walked off, left Oliver just standing there. He's going to have to go and find somebody else to read him a bedtime story. Well, he didn't have to go far to find somebody to read him a story. Bill, his brother-in-law, Cindy's husband, was there on the other side of the group science project, and Oliver soon got him to agree to read him a bedtime story. They set off together, but I intervened because I wanted to investigate the imaginary friend doll that was in Oliver's inventory, because Oliver needs to have it become real so they can both be completing their childhood skills together. But I didn't have any success. He talked to it and played with it. I'll have to get him to do a lot more of that before it will become live, and then we can make it real. Some random townie came onto the lot in the middle of the night and just walked past there. Don't know what he was doing. He left fairly quickly though, so I didn't worry too much about him. I got Oliver to play with his doll for a little while. There goes that townie leaving again. But I didn't keep him there for long. I just sent him off to bed. He needed to sleep. Next day, everybody was working hard on reading their books. Most of them are reading recipes. Some of them are reading fishing books, and a couple are reading the Cooking Volume 3 skill book, because they already know all of the recipes from the books 1 and 2 skill level. So I thought I might as well do the final few recipes. They might come in handy if they know how to cook ambrosia at some point. The teens need to learn more than just cooking. They also need to learn a gardening skill. And this is Lola. She's Donna's imaginary friend made real. And she's planting a few of the seeds she got when she got to level 1 in gardening after reading the gardening skill book for a while. I'm going to have to plant a lot more in this garden so that the current batch of teens is able to learn the gardening skill by doing gardening. And there's some dead trees there she's going to need to get rid of as well. I'll eventually get all of the teens out here gardening because I'd like them all to get at least to level 7 in gardening skill, because it's not until you get to level 7 that they can plant any of the seeds that they're likely to find lying around in the world. There are some seed spawners on their home lot, but I will eventually send a few of them off to the Stone's Throw greenhouse, because that's my favourite place to send my Sims to go and find seeds. Now for a little diversion. A couple of the teens have lost their homework, and I decided to look into the family inventory, and I did find one homework, but that was for a Sim who already had homework, so that was no use to me. But I was horrified to see how much junk is in the family inventory, all this unnecessary stuff, so I decided to get rid of it. Now I didn't just go sell everything, because that would just seize the game up. I've tried that before, and I know not to do that because it just sits there frozen for ages. Could be hours. I've never given it the chance. I've usually just closed it down by using Task Manager when it's been sitting there for long enough. So I didn't want to lose the butterflies. There's quite a few butterflies in there. So I started dragging them out of the inventory. But then I remembered there's a much better way of doing it. If you've got an NRAS mod master controller, there is 2 versions of the master controller. When you click on the roof of the house, you get one menu item as this master controller, and that's got all of the various menu items that you get go with that. But there's another one with just a little circle after it. If you click on that, you get transfer to and transfer from options. And if you go transfer from, you can choose various items from a list, and those items will go into your active Sims personal inventory. So I did that, and I gradually reduced or significantly reduced the amount of stuff in the family inventory by doing that. And then I got Olivia, who was the sim I used for this. I got her to then put all the insects and gems and metals and elixirs and all those sort of things that she can put away into cupboards, so I didn't have to drag them out of her inventory. And then I've got some chests with fish and items that that the Sims find when they travelled, and I moved everything that I could from her inventory into those chests. And then there was a lot of laptops and other items left in her inventory, and I just dragged them out and placed them various places around the house so that the Sims in the house can help themselves. But there was nothing there that they really needed, so I'll probably end up deleting most of it. But anyway, that was what I did. So I thought I'd explain to you, when we go back into the house, you'll see things lying around everywhere. A word of warning, when you do transfer from the household inventory, you can transfer everything to your Sim's personal inventory, even things that theoretically can't go into their personal inventory, and you won't be able to get them out again without a mod. So be careful what you put in there. And I think I'm going to end up having to sell most of what I'd moved out in this process, but I just wanted to see what was there, and I could then decide what to do with each thing as the game progresses. Like, I'm thinking any of the harvestables that are like perfect quality, I might get the Sims to plant them, because it can be difficult to get things up to a higher quality, and there's no point in getting things up to perfect quality over and over again when you've already got some that's up there from previous Sims that you've played in the same game. One more warning before we get back to the story: always make sure that you keep your Sim's personal inventory as empty as possible, because having a lot of stuff in their personal inventory causes massive lag. I've seen a game completely freeze. She ended up with 8 Wugglesworth bears in her inventory from the family inventory, and I decided to put them out on the floor in the nursery. There's no babies in there at the moment, but if your household is very poor and really needs lots of simoleons, a great way to get them is to buy the Wugglesworth bears, because they're quite cheap. And if you've got a vampire gnome, it will turn the teddy bears into vampire gnomes, which are worth a lot more than teddy bears are worth. And there they sit, quietly waiting for the approach of a vampire gnome. We don't need any simoleons, but I can't stop the gnomes from turning them into gnomes, so we'll just see what happens. Now back to the story. Bill had an opportunity from work where he needed to bring 1 serving of any recipe to work. I'm not sure what the reward was going to be, but here he is, he's making waffles. I was sort of hoping it might improve his work performance, but I don't think it did. I'd like him to achieve his lifetime wish. He peeked into that oven so many times, indeed eventually he got it out, and it looked pretty good too. Once he'd done that, I decided he'd better clean that mess up on the bench there behind him. And he got to work, and he did a good job of that. And then there were a lot of laptops that needed to be repaired, and he put his waffles into his inventory to take them to work. He had about another hour or so to go before he had to set off for work, so they should be okay in his inventory, and that way he won't forget them. So there's some of the laptops that Olivia put around the house from the family inventory, and they are all broken. So he can start working on repairing that one. Other household members will repair some of the others. As a result, they will all gain some handiness skill, which is really good for them. Unfortunately, nobody needs a laptop, I've discovered, so I might have to end up just selling them or keep them for the next generation. Just slip them in their inventories as they need them. We'll see. He eventually fixed it and got his reward for increased handiness skill, and then he was off to work. The car was waiting for him outside. He delivered his waffles and got his reward. I have no idea what that was, but he completed the opportunity. But then Cindy came home from work at the science facility, and she decided to fix a laptop as well. She is level 6, an aquatic ecosystem tweaker, and she wants to be a creature robot crossbreeder, so she's got her work cut out for her. She's working in the science career before she gets her lifetime wish. Looks like the teens are home from school. That's Daryl and Lana. I wondered why they walked all the way around the house to go in the front door, and I have no clue because I couldn't see any reason for it. Nothing seemed to be blocking their way, apart from some newspapers in front of the gate, but I don't think that would have stopped them. I got somebody to clean them up anyway in the end. Here comes Debbie. She's going to get rid of those old newspapers. She is Cindy and Bill's youngest daughter, and she's now aged up to teen. Down in the basement I found Donna and Olivia flirting. Last time I caught them doing this, little Oliver came along. And there is Cindy and her daughter. That's Donna, I think. They're with Cindy, the little heir. Sometime later, several members of the household sat around the table and read their books. Some were skill books and some were recipes. And Byron started working on one of those laptops that were broken. There was 8 broken laptops and they're gradually getting fixed. Byron's working on this one. Debbie's arrived and there's no room at the table for her. What a shame. She'll have to find somewhere else to sit. There's all sorts of stuff lying on the floor. Things that Olivia got out of the family inventory. We'll gradually get that under control. Debbie's gone over there to sit on her own. She's finally, after about 4 or 5 attempts, managed to complete reading the egg roll recipe. But she'll be sitting there reading for quite a while. So we'll leave this lot here to do their study in peace. Next morning the car came to take Cindy to work at the research facility, and the school bus was there to take the teens and one child, Oliver, to school. Since almost everybody in the household had gone off for the day, I decided to go and check on the horses. I was very surprised to discover 3 brand new Zanietta gnomes had appeared. I find those gnomes to be particularly difficult to get, and so when I set this lot up, I grabbed one of them out of Body Bug and placed it there, and I also got that magic salt lick from Body Bug at the same time, and that salt lick is the one where the gnomes have appeared beside, so I'm wondering if that is the one you need to get them. Meanwhile, the family cat, Coco, had a wish to sniff each of the horses, so she headed off over to the lot and proceeded to do her sniffing. She's got to do a lot of things before she can get another reward, lifetime reward. I keep checking. I'm hoping that I think she's got 2 at the moment, and she's a long way from enough lifetime happiness points to get any more. Hoping she gets some before she dies. She's almost an elder now. We've had her since the beginning of the game. Both her and Bindi are getting on a bit, getting close to becoming elders. Eventually everybody came home from school. There was homework to do and they had to complete quite a few different opportunities that they'd received. There's Donna in the background reading that book that she had to read for school. A few of them have got that book to read, and there was no time for anybody to go riding horses after school that day. Some of them have read all of the recipes that they can read for their level of cooking, but most of them are only on level 3 cooking skill, so now they're starting to read these cooking skill books as well. Bill got an opportunity to take some outstanding Melwa grapes to work, I think, and so we went into the chest. It's got all of the harvestables in it, and he pulled out 4 perfect plums, and now he's planting them in the garden to get perfect plum trees. We should get 4 perfect plum trees there, and you can see here on the left hand side where he's going to start planting the Melwa grapes. Unfortunately, the best quality in the chest were very nice quality, So we might have to have a few harvests as the quality increases to become outstanding before he'll be able to take his outstanding grapes to work. And he's got another opportunity which require him to deliver 3 very nice potatoes to work. But unfortunately we only had 2 potatoes in the chest and they were not very nice quality. So he's going to have to grow some more potatoes, and he's planted those 2 potatoes there next to the Melwa grapevines. Denise and Daryl each needed to read volume 3. Denise was reading Cooking volume 3 and Daryl was reading Charisma volume 3 because he needed to improve his charisma skill. So I sent them to the library and it was late at night while they were still there reading, and I thought they'd be okay inside the library, but they weren't. There was a siren and then they got arrested and were taken home by the police. What a shame. But they were able to read the books in the library. They just can't read them at home, not on their tablets. I did eventually track down the hard copy of each of those books at home and put them in their inventories, and they were able to read the books at home, but not through their tablet. Other Sims in the household could read those books with their tablets, but not this pair. I have no idea why they were being discriminated against. After he completed his homework the next afternoon, Oliver decided to focus on getting to know his imaginary friend doll. He was playing with it and singing to it, hoping for a great friendship later on, because he needs to get this doll live soon, because Oliver's rapidly learning all of his childhood skills, and that imaginary friend doll has to learn them as well. And he better be a child so he can start learning soon. Debbie did her homework and then she went down to the basement to fix one of those broken laptops. Hopefully she'll get some handiness skill from the exercise. It doesn't take them very long to fix them. Next morning everybody was off to school again. The car usually comes for Cindy at this time each morning as well, but this was Wednesday and it was her day off, so there was no car for her today. She had an opportunity to deliver a talk at the City Hall later in the afternoon, so she was able to do that. The bus dropped the teens and Oliver off to school, and I stayed there and watched and waited to make sure that they all got into school, and they did, but it took a really long time, and some of them didn't get in till after 9 o'clock, but so they were allowed to go, so that was good. Back at home, Bill decided to go and check on his garden, the harvestables that he'd recently planted, and he discovered that the sprinkler near his plum trees wasn't working. All of the other sprinklers were watering, but those 4 perfect plum trees were missing out on water altogether. So he decided he'd better fix the problem, and he upgraded the sprinkler to auto water, and now his plum trees are getting watered. He needed to tend his garden as well, so when he'd finished upgrading that sprinkler, he started weeding his seedlings, just waiting for them to come up. And while he was busy doing that, he was joined in the greenhouse by Don, and then shortly after that, Olivia turned up as well. And to my great surprise, Don and Olivia suddenly started flirting and kissing in the greenhouse. Donna had an opportunity to deliver a fish to the science facility, and the fish that she got out of the chest at home in the basement was not acceptable, so she had to go fishing herself. So this is what she's up to now. She's just got to catch 1 fish to take to the science facility. I think she's going to get improved grades at school. I hope so anyway. But we'll leave her there fishing. While Donna was fishing, I sent Lola and Lana to the Stone's Throw greenhouse to collect seeds. And Lana can pick up some of those suns as well. When I saw her with that umbrella, I was a little worried that she was going to stop and put the umbrella up and down again between each seed that she picked up. But she didn't, thank goodness. She must have picked it up off the floor. It's one of the umbrellas that Olivia got out of the family inventory, I think. She won't be able to plant many of the seeds that she finds here today because her gardening skill is only at level 3. So most of the seeds she finds will be too difficult for her to handle, but she'll have them in her inventory to plant eventually. And now that Lola has arrived, she can focus on just picking up seeds. She won't have to worry about the suns. And I haven't seen any minor pets running around at the greenhouse at the moment. It's always a good place to find minor pets as well. And birds are usually there too, but they're not there yet. They'll come eventually. When I placed the greenhouse in this world, I deleted the juice bar that comes with it and replaced it with a professional bar. So now Lola has come in there to the professional bar to order something to eat. And I wonder whose dog that is. Since I recorded this video, I have gone in there and added body bug ceiling lights, so next time I have a sim in there as it's getting dark, it'll be light. Eventually Lana wandered in to have something to eat as well, but I didn't get that on video. Back at home, it's time for Oliver to meet his imaginary friend because it's about to become real. There it is, it's live now, and for a little while Oliver and Patches, I think its name is, will talk and play together to build up their friendship, and when they become best friends, then the imaginary friend doll will agree to drink the potion that will make it real, and Oliver's got that potion in his inventory. Suddenly there was a commotion. I'd forgotten that Byron had gone home with somebody after school, and it was well past his bedtime. There was curfew, he'd gone past the curfew, so of course he got picked up by the police and driven home in disgrace. Poor Byron. Fortunately, Bill didn't scold him. I didn't want him scolded, I didn't want him grounded, because he had to go to school. He's A grade and he's got to stay there because they're going to age up to young adult in the next episode. He won't be able to do that if he's not A grade at school. Meanwhile, back at home, Oliver and Patches are still playing tag, getting to know each other, becoming very good friends. It was soon time for Oliver to offer the potion to Patches. Let's hoping it takes it. Then we'll be able to see if we've got a little boy or a little girlfriend for Oliver. It's quite a long wait. And there she is. And now she's going to go into Create a Sim and also into Stylist. I take her into Stylist because that lets her have more than one everyday outfit, and I like to keep the original imaginary friend outfit as their second everyday outfit. Oh dear, those teddy bears are falling victim to the vampire gnomes. There were 8 teddy bears before, and now there are 6 teddy bears and 2 vampire gnomes. There will soon be no teddy bears and they'll be all vampire gnomes. I've even had a teddy bear in one of my games. I had a teddy bear in the corner of the cot with a baby in it, and that teddy bear got turned into a vampire gnome. It was such a scary thing to see. Just check in the greenhouse. That sprinkler that Bill upgraded to auto water is watering, and the perfect plum trees, all 4 of them, are sprouting. Very good. Looks like the potato vine and the Malwar grapes are coming up as well. So it all looks good there at the moment. Byron and Riley are enjoying a dip in the pool early in the morning, and looks like Donna and Olivia are flirting again. Don't know what it is with that two. They didn't used to do this when they were raising their family. Now they're almost elders, they seem to be flirting all the time. Riley's been doing some wonderful dives. Byron seems to be very curious about what's going on over there with Olivia and Don. I think he had to get out of the way so Riley could dive. I bet this is going to be a really good dive. Hardly splashed. Uh-oh, Olivia just leapt into Don's arms. I guess they're having fun. I'm not going to let them have any more babies though. The numbers of Zanyeta gnomes is growing around that special salt lick. And it turns out that today is leisure day. So today's going to be the day that Denise gets to ride around Appaloosa Plains. And this means it's coming to the end of the video. So I do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have enjoyed it, give it a like, and if you'd like to see the next episode, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll try to get onto it soon. Haven't had a lot of time to do videos lately, but I think things might be improving. So thank you for watching. Bye bye for now, and happy simming. And if you'd like to stick around for a bit longer, you can see Denise taking Rocket for a ride through the world, and they will end up at a place where Denise can go fishing and Rocket can graze on the grass and get a drink of water from a trough.